Hey guys, Eric and Terry here to talk about the Arrow episode Haunted. Full spoilers follow, so still with us, cool. This was obviously the big Constantine episode.
Finally, Matt Ryan is back.
Right, that was the thing. I mean, Constantine as a show, I don't know how you felt. I don't think always worked. It was kind of all over the map, but I think the thing that people really liked was Matt Ryan as Constantine.
He just again, yeah, it had its issues. Obviously, It was canceled fairly quickly, but he just so embodied that character. And so for me, it was really fun sort of geeking out over just having him back. And, he worked pretty well in this world, which is a very different sort of world than what Constantine was. But Arrow Season 4, as it turns out, is really aligning with that more mystical, magical element of the DC universe.
Yeah, I wish they would have introduced him in the present day sooner because it made the back half feel really rushed. Like the sort of quest to restore Sarah's soul was really done really quickly. It wasn't
he was like, this is going to be the hardest battle. Like, this demon isn't going to let him down without a fight. One stab. All right, we did it.
Pull her out of the thing. Okay, we're good. So I wish that wasn't so rushed, but I do think that putting him in the flashback, that was really cool. Like it instantly elevated the importance of the character in the Arrow mythos. The fact that Oliver had already knew him.
And he knew about this magical component that's becoming so important with Damien Darhk.
Yeah, I thought that was really smart of them because again, for now, this was a one-off appearance. We'll talk more about that in a few minutes, but for now, it's a one-off appearance. But that being the case, it didn't feel like, oh, like this guy we've never heard of. Yes, we, the audience of Arrow, didn't know him. But the fact that, he was part of Oliver's past and whatnot, I thought that worked really well. I just wish maybe they could have introduced him in the present day. A little sooner.
I mean, I was really excited about this episode because I really, again, liked Matt Ryan as Constantine. It's really fun that they're doing this crossover. And I felt the Sarah storyline, saving Sarah, a bit outweighed Constantine. And I understand that, he was just part of this vehicle that was a big plot point and that it probably was better that it didn't feel like a standalone episode with Constantine and instead was important to the plot. But I did want more Constantine. Maybe I was just being greedy. I felt like for all the buildup, there really, he had a fairly sidelined role.
Well, it was funny because, again, I do think screen time-wise, he's in a lot of the episode, but I just think structurally because we see him in the flashbacks in the first half, and in the second half, both, but it still just felt like because he wasn't showing up in Star City for a while.
Yeah.
Even though we were seeing him in the flashbacks, he just kind of, I think, but it's a credit to him that we wanted more. And I mean, I will say that certainly right now they kept stressing it's a one-off appearance, and even availability-wise, Matt Ryan's in New York doing a show on Broadway, so it wouldn't even be free at the moment. But the way they ended things and whatnot, I mean, it certainly seems the door is wide open.
Absolutely, and I'm yes, they're saying that, but I really feel like it would really work with this season towards the end of the season if he was to come back and help them in some way fight Damien, because that's what I'm assuming that we aren't really going to get that conflict until the end of this season. And I mean, I think. It might just depend on how well received he is on Arrow, but I think that they definitely are like, all right, well, I'm going to come help you whenever you need.
Right, maybe in sweeps.
Yeah, if only you still had a show, John Constantine, maybe we could do a crossover. But I don't know about you, but I would definitely love to have him back.
I think it'd be great. I think, it's one frustration, or I don't know, it's a topic of conversation for sure, is the fact that these DC shows, the ones not on the CW are completely not connected to each other.
Right.
And, even with Supergirl, it's clearly not the same world. Yes, Flash even introducing the concept of the multiverse means that there's a way to do it now. But it still feels weird that they're not connected. So even when Constantine was on NBC, it was like, oh, that's kind of weird. They can never cross over. So the fact that this retroactively made Constantine part of the Arrowverse, basically you're like, okay, so now we can assume that those 13 episodes of Constantine were still part of the same world.
Yeah, I wonder how that colors going back and watching that season. Because I think it would make sense that Constantine wouldn't come to Arrow for the journey that he was on. And it also makes sense that Arrow wouldn't go to Constantine until at this point when he really was dealing with this sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, you bring up the non-CW DC shows, and I feel like, honestly, it's only a matter of time before there will be some sort of Supergirl crossover.
Oh yeah, I think that one is sort of inevitable.
But then, I mean, you get into this issue where these other shows have their own mythologies, and if you're having Supergirl be a part of this world, then Superman is a part of this world, you know? So yeah, maybe season 5 is going to be all the cosmic season of Arrow, and that's when we'll get our Supergirl crossover. But it does sort of open an interesting can of worms, even though I do think those shows work pretty well together.
Yeah, I just think that it's, you know, when you look at Constantine, in those 13 episodes, look, they were sort of setting up Dr. Fate, they were setting up the Spectre. So it's like, okay, well, those little kernels, at some point, if Arrow or The Flash or Legends of Tomorrow wanted to, they could pick those up now.
Yeah, that's actually, I'm glad you brought up Legends of Tomorrow, because I almost feel like you could bring Constantine onto that show.
Sure,
yeah, and that could be really fun, even if it's for one episode. Again, that would be a really interesting way to keep him still a part of this world.
I just think we're gonna get that. We're gonna get that scene of, like, you know, Green Arrow and the Flash and a bunch of these other characters and Constantine all standing there, you know.
Yeah, and he knows Sarah now. He knows the White Canary.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, she kind of owes him big, so Legends of Tomorrow.
Yes. We're pitching it. We're pitching it right now.
We're pitching it. Our mouths to Berlanti's ears, but I think it'll happen at some point. So that's what we thought about Constantine showing up on Arrow. We were pretty psyched about it. What'd you think? Would you like to see him pop up again on Arrow or one of these other shows on CW? Let us know in the comments, and for plenty more on DC and DC TV shows, keep it here at IGN.